Okay, so I'm back again. I told myself I wasn't going to make another video, but here I am. So much has happened again today, and I just could not resist. So let's go straight into my portfolio to give you an overview of the movement of today. Today morning, we woke up to a historic rally. I think it was 9% straight in the morning, as you can see. If you are keeping up with the videos, you would have known that yesterday my portfolio was 96,921 pounds worth, and in the morning, look at this, 105,878 pounds. That was a 9.2% gain in literally just the opening minutes, and my portfolio was up by 8,957 pounds. However, things of course changed a lot. At the end of the day, we are up by only 5.5%, or a return of 5,336 pounds. Now, as you can see, the biggest culprit here is the iShares Core S&P 500 in my trading 2-on-2 stocks and shares ISA. I bought 11,118 shares. As you can see, this is exactly when I bought it. It was on the 24th of February 2025, and basically all hell broke loose after that, and the S&P 500 went on one of its quickest decline in recent history. You can see overall now, since investing about 6 weeks ago, it is down by 12.71%, and I've lost, unrealized of course, 14,389 pounds. The Nasdaq 100 today had an amazing start too. It was up in the morning by about 12%, so a massive rally, but of course that did not last long. Closed the day with a positive 4.8%. Now, of course, the reason why I'm making this video is because that's not how the story goes, because the US markets are still open and things are still happening. So in these videos, I show you my trading 2-on-2 portfolio, and if you would like to sign up to trading 2-on-2 and receive a free fractional share worth up to £100, all you have to do is to click the link in the description box just down below. Alternatively, if you've already signed up to trading 2-on-2 in the past 10 days but have not received your free fractional share, all you have to do is to click the 3 horizontal line menu over here. Scroll all the way down until you see the section use promo code, and in this section just enter my code JUBAIR and you should receive a free fractional share. Now, if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing, as I have been making daily videos throughout this week, reacting pretty much live to the events that are unfolding in front of us. This is definitely a historical time in the market, and I'm taking on the perspective of a long-term investor. There is no way that I am going to be personally selling at a loss, and these videos are to reassure you and also myself that, perhaps it will be fine in the long term. Although not financial advice, I have zero idea where the markets are heading, as does anyone. No one really actually knows. And I'm convinced that just staying in the market is going to be a whole lot better than trying to time the market. Trying to time the market in such a volatile time is very silly. As you can see, no one could have guessed any of these peaks and troughs throughout the past few days, especially none of the experts. You really can't predict. Yes, you can make money by trading the S&P 500 or whatever. I've done it before and it is fine, but if you are out of the market even for a day, it seems, you could be missing out on 10%ish. So, right now I'm going to be waiting on the sidelines and seeing what happens to the S&P 500. Now, I've received a lot of positive comments on these videos, and I'm really grateful for each and every one of you. Yesterday's video got over 4,000 views. These videos are doing really well, and I'm very grateful. Also got a few concerned, messages too, but I'm going to be fine. Daily videos, I'll be fine. Now, the biggest news today is that the president of the United States of America is hitting China, the second largest economy in the entire world, with a 145% tariff. Now, that's the kind of tariffs you impose on a country that you absolutely detest and hate, because why else would you do that? Now, it doesn't help that these leaders have a lot of ego, especially the American ones. And if there is an all-out trade war, it is good for absolutely no one. Now, like I showed you my portfolio, the reason why the stocks were rallying, the S&P 500, let's say, is because the president of the United States of America paused any further tariffs tariffs for 90 days, giving around 3 months of breathing room apart from China. Now, of course, like I said yesterday, the issue is not gone. The lingering issue is that, tariffs in the first place are bad. Even 10% is bad. 10% still applies, by the way. It is only China that isn't getting the baseline, 10%, but instead 145%. This is frankly ridiculous in my opinion, but then again, I'm not a journalist. This is just my own opinion. If this continues, it is good for absolutely no one. China is one of the biggest exporters of electronics in the entire world, if it's not the number one. And the funny thing is, a lot of things that you think are American, like the iPhone, are actually manufactured in countries like China anyway. And this is going to really impact Apple and every other company in the whole world, essentially, especially in the USA. Now, as you can see, the S&P 500 has again reacted violently. We have almost completely halved our gains from, this morning, or last night, I should say, in the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 is currently down by 4.95%. Of course, the markets are still open and anything can happen. You can see right now as I speak, there does seem to be, something happening. But like we've seen in the past few days, I would not get my hopes up. If you are looking to get your hopes up, it kind of points towards, you're looking in the short-term area, which is fine. At the end of the day, this is not financial advice. If you want to do short-term trading, by all means, understand the risks. I would not recommend doing it, and I wouldn't recommend doing anything with leverage, because I've seen, people reaching out to me and in my comment section how much people have lost by, trading with leverage. I absolutely would never, ever, ever promote any sort of leverage on this channel or basically anywhere else you can see my face. But you can see right now, down 5% today. So almost completely wiping out our gains. By the time this video comes out, it probably, will be completely wiped out. So what does this actually mean for me? So this morning, I was nursing a loss of £12,757, which is obviously really, really big. But right now, this loss stands at £14,389, and tomorrow it's going to get even worse. So I'm going to be close to being a negative £20,000 unrealized loss in just this holding. Do bear in mind, this is just my Trading 212 stocks and shares ISA. I have the Trading 212 Invest account and many other portfolios with other brokers that I'm down to. So I am down overall, and at some point by 30 or even more than £30,000. This is just a quick look at my Trading 212 Invest account. I only really show you my stocks and shares ISA as it's my biggest single portfolio. It's just easier to show. You can see even here, I actually purchased these shares later, not the 24th of February, but on the 3rd of March. And as you can see, I'm still down by 11.31%. And in this portfolio, I'm down by £2,436. So only time will tell what will happen, and right now is not a fun time to be an investor. Of course, unless you have a lot of cash and you have been dumping it into the market, you probably will be happy, but then again, who knows how far down the stock market can actually go, so there's still time to be unhappy. Best thing for me is to just sit on the sidelines and just wait this out. Any other cash that I can put into the stock market, I will be putting in. So make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video.